Now you can train your power and your speed also very sport specific. Of course, for example, on an indoor bicycle, for example, or you can also do it outside on your mountain bike. So to keep it simple, if I want to increase power, I have to use a little bit more resistance. And if I want to work on speed, I want to decrease resistance. In most cases, I would actually stand up to do the sprint, and then I would lean back a little bit and then start from zero and try to sprint as fast as I can. Okay? If I want to decrease speed and work more on my pedaling speed as well, I decrease it, do the same setup, and then try to really go for speed. Now here, very important, the duration shouldn't be too long. It should not exceed 10 seconds, mainly because we then go into another energy system, and also because maximum velocity will actually drop off after around 6 seconds. So therefore, I'm actually quite out of breath. Holy shit, I should start training, huh? Just joking. After 6 seconds it drops off and it doesn't make sense anymore for maximum power or maximum speed. So keep it short, quick sprint, all out, use more resistance if you want to go for more power, use less resistance if you want to go for maximum velocity. What about the upper body? Here I like the Plyo push-up as well. So this time it's not extensive, it's more explosive. There are two variations, either with your counter movement jump again, so with elastic energy. I go down as quickly as I can and then try to go as high as I can. I don't do the next one immediately. I set up again properly, get the focus 100%, go down quick and up, like this. You can increase intensity when you go lower. So you take a smaller box. This will obviously increase force. We will move towards more power in the curve. You can even go down to the floor, you can add weight, etc. So here again, quickly down and up as high as I can. Now I can do this also from a static position. So let's say here I have tension in my chest already, and then try to go as high as I can, like this, and then catch again. This would be without elastic energy, starting strength. It's a good variation as well. The next exercise, the bench press, is a great upper body power exercise, especially for mountain bikers, if the execution is correct. With the execution, I mean the technique. It needs to be flawless because we are moving the barbell quite fast, and therefore we have to have perfect technique. If you don't know how to bench press properly, go back and watch the episode How to Build Muscles the Most Efficient Way, where I explain the bench press and the technique in detail. Very important, execution, number one, technique needs to be flawless. Second, we need to move the bar as fast as we can. Compared to muscle building, there we want to have a slow eccentric and a faster concentric, but here we want to move the bar as fast as we can. There are 3 variations you can do them. One variation would be a slow eccentric, like when you do hypertrophy, but then when you touch the chest, you explode as fast as you can. Second variation, you want to move the bar quickly down and quickly up. You don't have to touch the chest, but you can. Be careful that you don't crush your chest and that you don't get hurt. So you have to actually decelerate the weight quite well. So therefore, preparation is everything. You need to have a good, strong base, so good musculature, and also you have done some extensive plyometrics or extensive jumps. And then you can absorb these forces and then extend again. This is almost like a plyometric version of the bench press. And the third variation would be from a static position. So you go all the way down, you hold for like 2 or 3 seconds and then explode as fast as you can. This will also work on the rate of force development, which is actually how fast can I recruit muscle fibers in the shortest amount of time. Anyways, let's look at these 3 variations. So first variation would be slowly down and then as fast as I can go up. This variation 1. Variation 2 would be fast down and fast up. Okay, so we have to decelerate and then push again. Third variation would be all the way down, almost touch the chest or just slightly, and then you can push as fast as you can. So these 3 variations are actually awesome for mountain bikers, especially for the upper body. I would say all 3 variations have their place. For progression wise, I would start with slow eccentric and then as fast as you can. Second one would be static. And the third one would be the dynamic. So fast down, fast up. Remember, for power movements, it should be around 30 to 80% of your 1 rep max. I would always start with 30, work up to like 50 or 60 or 70. Higher than 60% is you need to be a really high level athlete, and therefore I wouldn't recommend those percentages. I would go more from 30 to 60%. So if you have a 100 kilo bench press, just easy to calculate, you start with the bar weight with 30 kilos and then you start to progress. And what also you can progress with is with the variations. And once you get to the plyometric version of it and you can manage that well, you are very well prepared for any impact in mountain biking. A great power exercise for the lower body is the kettlebell squat jump. With the kettlebells, I can add weight, and for it to be a power exercise, remember it should be around 30 to 80%. I would recommend only go to 60 because over 60 is very high level. So around 30 to 60% of external resistance or weight. Here, as for demonstration purposes, I have a 20 kilo kettlebell and I have also 3 variations, same as in the bench press. I can do slow eccentric and then jump as high as I can. That would be one variation. The second variation would be fast eccentric and fast concentric movement. So fast down and fast up as high as you can. And the third one would be from a static position. So you go down, you hold a couple of seconds, and then explode. Same as in the bench press, I would progress through the variations. So I would start with slow eccentric, fast concentric, and then go for the static jump. So down, hold, and then jump as high as you can. And the third one would be with a stretch shortening cycle. So fast down, fast up. What you also can do is do multiple jumps, which that would be actually the 4th level. So you say like, okay, I'm gonna do 3 jumps now in a row, and then you try to jump as high as you can, you land, and then go again. This is a great way to increase power and to also learn to decelerate with the forces, and this will get you actually really powerful. Another great one for the lower body are split squat jumps. I really like them because we have to work a little bit unilaterally, so right and left leg separately, which is a good thing because cycling is a unilateral sport as well, and we can train both legs separately. So the execution would be you go into a lunge position and then you go down, you jump and then switch the side and then jump from the other leg. So I started right, then move to the left and go back and forth. So it would look like this. Of course, I can do that exercise with weight, but also without. So hands into the hip and then try to jump as high as I can. So without weight, here again, I have more movement speed. So it's more explosiveness and speed. With weight, I'm working more in the areas of speed strength, so explosiveness and power. And here also you can do singles. So just one, switch side, break, stand up again and then do another one. Or you can do them continuously like I just showed. Another simple upper body explosive exercise is the mat ball chest throw. What I do is I will put the mat ball to my chest, okay? And I can throw just with my arms, but I'd like to incorporate usually my whole upper body. So I'll lean back, I engage my abdominals, and then I throw it as far in front as I can. And there is a catch to it, a good one, especially for mountain bikers. If you throw the ball as hard as you can, you will actually inevitably fall forward and you have to catch yourself, which is also a good thing to learn to decelerate. So it looks like this. I go back, I throw it as hard as I can, I land slowly. And with this implement, it's also cool to measure your progress. When you throw the ball, you can set a marker where you have thrown it to, and then you do another one and you try to beat it. In general, I would always recommend to implement that because it pushes you to actually go further or higher or whatever. Now, the exercises I just showed you are quite simple exercises. There are many, if not hundreds of different exercises you can do to increase your power, your explosiveness and speed. I chose more the simple ones just to give you an idea and understanding of how to perform them with some variations. Depending on your sport and depending on your situation, there is other variations and other possibilities. In this case, I would always recommend to work with a true professional that understands your case. Now that we've seen the exercises, it's important to talk about the execution. So how many exercises, how many sets and reps, how much rest, etc. Very important as well when we talk about jumps. All right, let's talk about extensive jumps. Usually I go for like 3 to 6 exercises. I have about 10 to 20 reps per exercise. Remember, I do them in a continuous fashion. So when I go through the exercises, I don't have any breaks. So let's say I do bounding and then I do one leg jumps. I go immediately from bounding to one leg jumps without any rest in between. So I go through all these 3 to 6 exercises. I will do 1 to 3 rounds, and usually I would progress that over the weeks. So I wouldn't start with 3 rounds, I would start with 1, just to get the adaptation going and to do progressive overload over time. And after each round, I would do 60 to 90 seconds rest between the sets. Also here, I try to go the minimum amount as possible because I want to have first a little bit of a cardiovascular effect. So my heart rate goes up, I want to keep that a little bit. And secondly, I want the body to deal with a bit more stress in the tendons and ligaments, and therefore I try to keep the rest at minimum. Now with the explosive jumps, it's a completely different approach. Here in general, it's really important, like I said before, that you move your body as fast as you can. So any fatigue is not helpful because fatigue means you can't push your maximum output. Therefore, I would do 1 to 5 exercises if you want to do it in a circuit, and 5 is already a lot. If you do 5 exercises with 5 reps, it turns almost into an extensive jump kind of a workout, and that's not what we want. Why I do more exercises in a circuit? It's because I want to save time, and also if I implement 2 upper body and 2 lower body, for example, I have a good mix, and when I do the lower body, the upper body can rest, vice versa. So per round, I do 1 to 5 exercises. I go for 1 to 5 reps per exercise. Here as well, I would progress over time, and then I would start with more reps because we're coming out of the extensive jumps phase. And in the beginning, I want to get used to the explosive jumps. I maybe don't have to go to 100% output. I go for like 90 or 95. I get used to the exercises and then I can afford more reps. But with time, the intensity goes higher. Maybe you take more weight, you go for more difficult variations. Then I would go down with the reps. Okay, so it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 over the weeks. I would do 2 to 5 rounds. So I would progress the sets over the week. So I wouldn't start with 5 rounds, I would maybe start with 2 or 3. And over time I would build up to 5 rounds. And obviously, I just said before, you go down with the reps. And I would do at least 2 minutes rest between sets. It needs quite a lot of rest. 2 minutes is actually the lower end. Some people are taking up to 5 minutes of rest. Even in the literature, it says the 2 minutes is the absolute minimum if you want to train maximum velocity. It's also because in our cells, the ATP, so the one that actually produces movement, needs to be replenished, and that takes time. So at least 2 minutes, up to maybe 5 minutes, depending also on what you've done before. If it's really intensive jumps and you're fatigued, you need actually a longer break. Now, what about the watch your breath? So the watch your breath is actually a good tool to check if you are already a little bit fatigued or if you are pushing too much endurance and not speed. So let's say you are doing an exercise, let's say kettlebell squat jumps, which is quite heavy with some weights, and then you start breathing quite heavily because maximum effort will also impact your cardiovascular system. And then you start breathing, and then actually what I recommend is that you wait until your breath is normal and then you continue. And it doesn't matter if you're doing this after the whole round. Obviously you then have anyway to do 2 minutes of rest, but this is more when you're doing the reps in a set. So let's say after the kettlebell squat jumps, I feel out of breath, but I have to go for, let's say, bench press. I will wait until my breath is normal and then I will continue. So you can make sure you are not fatigued. Also with explosive jumps, like I just said before, progress over the weeks with intensity. So in the beginning, you don't want to go as intense, as hard, as high, as far, with weights as well. So progress over the weeks, and also with the volume. So the volume of sets goes up, but the reps are going down because it gets more intensive. So how does this look like in a 4-week program with the same exercises? So I would go maybe for 3 exercises. I would do 3 sets of 5 reps. And then the second week I would go 4 sets and 4 reps. And then third week I would go 4 sets and 3 reps. And week 4 I would go 5 sets. And I would try to go up with intensity. So here, more weight, even more, if you can do. That would be a nice progression, for example. There is many variations, but that would be a solution. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something about how to be more powerful and more explosive. Work on it. I hope you will get better. I hope you will get more powerful, because this will make you feel more alive and just more agile and more athletic. And you will definitely have more fun in the sport of cycling or mountain biking. Let me know in the comment section if you have any ideas or questions, or ask me directly. All right, let's get more powerful and see you soon.